actually submitted the site plan, which is slightly different than the conceptual plan. I know a lot of times we receive the application and then we have the site plan meeting at the same time. So I've got, I think, 5 copies if people want to take copies with them and review them.
That would be great, Dave. I appreciate that. That's great.
Yeah.
Ahead of time, I think that the easiest place to start with these things.
Thank you, Mary, very much.
There's an original.
Maybe we have Ron and Dave who know what they're looking at better than the rest of us. That could be very helpful.
David?
Butch, Chris, Dave.
And Kathy needs one of those too.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we didn't want to.
Is there more than one?
You want me to make some more? Yeah.
Thank you. Chris, this is, or is this Michael? We needed one
Do you
more.
want me to make another copy?
We need one more, I guess, or Michael or Chris, either one can take this one.
Huh?
Is that an extra one there?
Yes.
But there was a top
Oh,
copy.
there's 2 of
Is that
them?
it?
Chris, this is the update and we'll put that's yours. So we need one more.
Awesome.
One of them.
Great, thank you.
Oh, Michael, yeah.
I can copy that.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Dave.
This is the plan, here's the building, here's a pull-in for the dumpsters and loading, trees, an entrance
Dave,
way.
let me interrupt for a second. The square on the left we're looking at, is that the other gas station right there in the
Yes.
corner?
7-Eleven.
That's 7-Eleven?
Yeah.
Okay. Those are the boundaries, so it's that small. Okay.
That's 7-Eleven, and this is actually the 7-Eleven sign that they put right behind the tree, so when you drive down, you see the tree and bushes, you won't see their sign.
So behind,
I can see pretty good.
all of that behind 7-Eleven is Cumberland's.
Correct.
So all those circles are trees?
These are all trees.
Trees.
This is a
Way back there, I
sidewalk.
forgot that. Okay.
That's a sidewalk down West Street.
It's a little bit strange because this is the end of the road, right here, this line.
Yep.
This is the double yellow line in the middle. Here's the north side and here's the south side.
Yep.
And then this is their property line. So they
Wow.
landscaped right up to their property line. And then they put a curb in out here at the edge of the road. And I don't know
No,
what
that should be
this,
completed. I'll just throw that out there.
this white space is a little
Yes.
odd.
Yeah, that should be completed up to the edge of the road.
And they've done sort of the same thing over
It's gonna
here.
be, especially if it's long, it's no reason not to.
So completed with what, Dave? Landscaping?
That whole line should come back right back out.
Or this curb should come back in. They gotta deal with the state.
Well, that's what
over
that's what
issues.
the state's gonna dictate, what are they proposing for a curb cut? They have a one-way out?
No, this is one way in and out. This is a two-way entrance, and
Yep.
this is a two-way entrance.
That's probably gonna change because Dollar General across the street, they had them put a one-way island in their driveway.
That's a
So
little
it's right
straight
turn in, right turn out only. And it's probably be similar to that, but that comes after the local approval.
And Dollar General's like directly across.
Yeah.
They're right here on this entranceway.
And after us, the state, obviously, as Dave said, they weigh in and they might get something very different on the
Well,
road.
they
Same thing you did at
all.
At Albuquerque, it was totally different from what we had approved, Albuquerque, yeah.
Well, not too bad, they reduced it actually.
Well, they reduced it from the Panseers property.
When the traffic report shows everybody coming this way, turning down here and going in there, and then coming back out this way and going that way, I would probably pull in and pull back out that way.
Yeah, that hill, coming up the hill on West Street is not a good one if you're gonna take a left, sure.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, a lot of their assumptions, their traffic assumptions seem a little.
Yeah, well, the state will weigh in and fix them.
Yeah, that comes after, but we can certainly comment on that white area, between their landscaping and the road.
So they've gotta come right up to the road. You can't have a dead spot like
And then
that.
we gotta look at sidewalks.
Okay, right, sidewalks.
It
We
could
need
be
to
a
look at-
sidewalk,
We need to look at,
could be a sidewalk, they have sidewalks on West Street.
Just
there's
on
sidewalks
West
in front of Dollar General.
Right, we do have one in front of Dollar General.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And I'll tell you, everyone walks on that too. It's, because there's no other sidewalks from.
Well, this one
church.
has trees in front of it. The Dollar General is down to one semi-dead tree.
Yeah, it sure is. It's bad, you know.
Boy, that's nice, Dave.
So that's Cumberland.
So you're gonna have to weigh in on the back side.
Excuse me, Dave, is there any drive-through proposed?
No,
They don't have.
you might wanna make that opaque as opposed to looking in and seeing the actual utilities.
That's
Well,
glass?
No, it's
No,
just a
It's
fence.
a parapet.
Oh, okay, I wasn't seeing it, right, okay,
But you can see the mechanicals,
Yeah,
right.
and that's not according to
That's all.
our regulations.
yeah. I mean, it might even look better if they,
Well, they can lattice it off.
Somehow, how they can
Well,
hide the
send the pictures, just
mechanicals.
go to that. Yeah, that's.
they also on the landscaping on the back side, behind this, they need a screening or a fence from the residential zone
Mhm.
behind it, and they just have all those trees. They're really gonna need
The
a hedge,
existing trees they have?
a hedge back there.
Not much.
At the end of the existing parking lot?
No,
on
No,
the
back-
back
West
of the
Street,
building. the
perpendicular to
street.
West Street.
Oh, okay, okay. Back there.
Are they
Yeah.
aware of these things that you're saying?
No.
No,
This just came in yesterday at
okay.
1 o'clock.
So you'll be discussing this with them?
I will give them some heads up.
The memo was pretty thorough, what I saw for your comments, so
And that's only from the
preliminary, I know.
village overlay.
Has, since Rick is here, have they spoken to the water division for any requirements you may have?
During the initial last year, they contacted us and asked us if there was room for them to connect or give us their flow, and it would be the same as Backus. So they're still allocated for what Backus had, and they don't have. They should
As
be-
far as like grease traps or whatever, that's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, there isn't a grease trap because it's not a class 3 or 4 restaurant, so, yeah. They have been.
So it's pretty straightforward.
It is, correct.
So this concept plan shows a stormwater basin over here. Doesn't show any drainage per se, just the storm basin. And then,
That's in the corner of the parking lot.
yeah,
Yeah, well, right now, the whole site's paved,
whole site's paved.
so any improvements, any reductions in pavement
Is a good thing.
So this is the drainage plan,
Oh, I see it.
and they're taking everything and taking it and putting it over here into the West Main Street and flowing it back down, and eventually it goes back into
the river.
you,
Into West Street?
That goes,
From
Where
West
are they,
Street.
storm
West
drainage
Street.
Storm drain would go into the river
goes to
down
the
there.
river down the bottom.
But it doesn't.
it doesn't go down to the river.
Yeah.
It connects to the
Storm
storm.
drain?
The sewer.
Yeah,
And you're gonna be doing sewer work
correct.
at the same time. There's a big note on this plan to talk to DP, Department of Public Works, and coordinate it. And I
That's
did give a plan to Rick
the
today
West Street issue.
But why would the
for him to
groundwater be
give
going
it to
into
the
sewer?
engineers.
No, stormwater.
Yeah, but why would that?
Stormwater wouldn't be going in there.
Shouldn't be going.
It goes to the river, the stormwater does, eventually, yeah, it's going, that's where it goes, downhill. After the detention basin.
It all rolls
Something
downhill.
else comes downhill too.
Yeah, it all rolls
Yeah,
downhill.
that's on the other side of the.
Well, then, I mean, I think what they probably should be doing is,
Connects, we did a smoke test and everything's connected down West Street. We just did it.
Separate.
Correct.
Gotcha, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So yes, just a quick thing, the WPCA is presenting to redo the sewer line on West Street. In the process of doing that study, we found that the 2 or 3 catch basins that are on West Street for stormwater are connected to the sewer. So in this project, we're looking to separate the drainage from the sewer, help with capacity-wise, and also redo West Street as a complete reconstruction of the whole road. So I heard about this afternoon. I did talk to Rick Zulik about it. He was actually the one that brought it to my attention. And then hopefully we can work with them to, if we need to enlarge the pipe before we put the wrong size pipe in, we can do that. And maybe with their assistance or however that'll work.
Oh, where that outfall is, there's an easement issue also, so, but, or they have an easement. Town has an easement, so.
Okay.
So would that affect the capacity? Would it lessen how much is going into the sewer?
Sure, we won't see that surge like tonight with this heavy rain. We won't see that as much of a surge.
So this will improve the WPC.
Yeah, groundwater shouldn't be going.
That's
over in the
wonderful.
sewer. Now, when you say you're gonna redo the infrastructure, will that go from the train tracks up? How far,
Right now,
how
we're
long
working on from Center Street up,
Right, so from
Center Street to West Street.
So from the bridge up.
Center Street to West.
the bridge, right?
Yeah.
So from Rosty's.
Yeah.
And that may give you a chance to work on this intersection between West Street and West Main Street and how this,
That's
Discombobulation
that's a state
works.
issue.
Yeah, that's a whole different.
well, I mean, it's both of us at that point.
Yeah, it's both, but it's more of the state. It's-
Oh, you mean that's where the peninsula and the yield and?
Right, but you're on the state road, as far as, right, you have a two-way, you have that island in the middle, which you're right, it needs to be corrected.
Undiscombobulated. So that original plan showed a detention pond over here, and now they've decided just to put it all in pipes and just put it right over here.
What makes sense?
Underground storage?
Well, you're not supposed to, increase your discharge of stormwater over what it is now.
Right, but they're reducing the paved area, so that will reduce their peak runoff.
Yeah, but they're also,
You get their
we don't
direct.
really know where it's going now. I assume
No, I
there are
know,
no
I know,
drains
but the
there.
quantity of the peak flow, right now, the whole site's paved, it's building or pavement. So now, whatever lawn areas they add, like particularly out front, they're gonna reduce their peak flow automatically, they don't need to detain it.
Is the spot where the detention pond is going to go, is that going to become like lawn?
Yeah.
Okay. How about behind the building? Is that-
Yeah, this is all lawn back here,
Oh, that's a big improvement.
and they'll need to put some sort of a type C screening or T screening or whatever it is over here, and they actually can bulk up some of the trees and,
So Dave made a good point, there'll be a lot less runoff when you add that much lawn to it compared to what it is right now.
well, they've cut the impervious surface by like 35%.
Yeah, that's huge. Behind the building, is that between the back of the building and the property line, is that lawn area?
Yeah,
Yeah, he just that.
and there's sort of a hill here.
So, one thing is maybe, like with the roof leaders of the building, is they could do like a rain garden behind the building for just the downspouts, for groundwater recharge, so there is still water going into the ground. I mean, they're still gonna be way below.
Right.
It doesn't change that, but.
Well, they've got everything going in here. They've got the
The gutters from the,
gutters from the canopy and the gutters from the building, and everything's going in.
Are there, the only requirements for like motor vehicles is after approval, that they've got local approval. They're gonna have to meet whatever DMV requires for gas stations, but there's a containment system, the grooves and kind of. around the
It's
pumps.
pretty elaborate now, yeah.
What about the parking?
They have 22 parking spaces over here and over here.
Very good.
They've got one handicap that may be not the right size
Yeah.
in here.
Is there any outdoor dining?
Outdoor seating, these are tables over here, 3 tables. These are the tanks, underground tanks.
Any other issues jumped out at you, Dave, when you were looking at this?
No, those were sort of the biggies.
Mhm. Do we have can we get a picture of the tanks? Oh, no, that's what I got. This is.
Of the building itself,
The building, the tanks, probably the whole front. Do you have one or just the
This one?
building?
Have they submitted a photometric plan for the lighting?
that one.
Yeah, that's good. This is incredible. They followed, as
So
I
it
was
looks
reading the architectural for the village overlay, they have the different roof lines and, yeah, and what's the material going to be?
It's
mile.
Yeah, it's architectural asphalt shingles.
The asphalt, oh, that's.
Well, yeah, the shingles will be architectural.
Yeah.
The vinyl, and there's they call them like cedar impressions over the dormer type.
That's good, so the only issue is to cover the mechanics in the back.
Yeah, I think you probably want to do that. Nobody's really going to see it except for that.
Well, when you come up West Street, you will, won't you?
But instead of pickets, they could go with vinyl sort.
Yeah, anything.
I have
The
one
only
similar to
issue
the
is
job
to-
that I'm working at in
to
Rhode Island.
screen them.
That's what they did, they put
Yeah.
a piece of lattice in.
Dave, have they submitted a photometric plan for the layout?
Yeah. So it's all, you come look up closer, I mean, it's all 0.2, 0.1.
What's this one?
Underneath is like in the 40s, high 40s. Down here it's like 9, almost 10, 7, 8, 9, 10.
That's where the most of it.
And this is, they've got these little lights in the soffits around the building.
My big concern was the sign at the corner, so I don't think we're showing that. Just, I don't know, are they gonna have a digital sign or the other
Usually it's
plan,
right-
the other plan showed it.
Usually it's right in the middle.
Where's the,
I thought there was a sign right there.
It's in the corner in the picture here.
they haven't put it on the
I'm
plan.
gonna go now.
And this one, okay,
Out here.
Right here. This is right here.
Yeah, but I don't think that's a sign, it says something about.
Pylons.
Dave, now I've got this picture, I think that's.
Yeah, that's
showing it.
another location, but here on the plan,
See, it
right,
looks
this
like
this
this.
rectangle right here, they have a pylon sign.
That looks, okay, that's a
Okay,
little
but my
bigger.
my concern was this being,
Too high.
well, not too high, but lit up
Right.
a little too bright. We had that issue with CVS when we got
Right.
snow, they put LED lights around
Come around the
them.
corner.
Right.
And then when we got snow, it lit up the whole neighborhood,
So,
because it reflected right
So these
off.
are like angled cone ones?
No, it was,
Yeah, but these
I don't know, like
guys,
strip light, soffit lighting, whatever they call it, but that, I mean, I'm just concerned that it may be too bright. It may not, I'm sure they can tell you the levels, or, because people are gonna be driving right towards that down 190.
Yeah, neon's a target, you're gonna aim.
Well,
for it,
white.
so.
Bright and white light, that's, I know they have these new stores all over, so I'm not too concerned.
so that sign
I
is
just wanna
very different from
address
the
it.
first concept.
yeah,
Yeah,
and maybe it's a little bit more,
ornate,
Yeah.
It's a little more village outlay than.
it is a little more village look to it than the plain white, yeah. I think they did an excellent job
How many square feet is that?
following the
Just under 40?
it
regulations.
is like,
I think it says on the
like 40 or something in total.
I think it says it on the site plan, on the note, the label,
Over
not,
there.
not on that one, but on the other.
Oh, yeah,
One on the board.
36.67.
36 point, yeah, 36 and a half. It's under-
The one on the board, Dave.
Yeah, I don't have my glasses, so.
Here, I'll move the board over there.
I know they can control the brightness of the numbers.
Square feet, yeah.
Where is that?
No, it's
This- this one.
this-
Yeah, and that one's not, yeah.
Right, but they were,
This one here.
it's not, right, right.
Yeah, they made it
But
much
you
shorter.
you can control the brightness of the letters, of the numbers, correct?
Yeah, they can.
Yeah. So if someone complains they're too bright or something, they are.
Yeah, but I mean, they have experience, they have many stores,
They
so I'm
know.
not,
Yeah,
I'm sure, I just raised the question, that's all.
okay. Well, are we-
Part of the process is also going to be okaying the location, which the zoning board of appeals usually does. And we just have to sign off on that. There's a form we have to sign off on, but we need to put that.
Yeah, for the sale of gas,
Well,
it
this-
changed, the state law changed.
Wouldn't the state have to give us, don't they weigh in on where that sign's gonna go also? You know,
Not if it's on their property.
Right.
It's 10 feet off their,
So
10
do
feet
you,
inside the
do you
line.
have the form?
No, he's talking
Yeah, I
about
have
it being a
the
gas
form.
station.
Oh,
It's part of the
Can you
application.
just
It's a
sign
motor
it, or do we
vehicle
have to?
permit.
We'll just make it part of the motion, and they'll be part of their presentation that they're asking for location approval from the commission for
Yeah.
gasoline sales.
Okay, so
And
whoever
they keep
makes the
changing that
motion,
regulation, like,
so this is
every
the,
6 months.
to sign the variance form?
No, it's not a variance.
What did
No,
you
it's
say?
It's just, it's
What would you call
location,
it?
it's
Location.
location approval.
Location approval.
Also, we talked about in the village district overlay zone and in the underlying regulation, it talks about getting a report from a licensed architect or from a planner or from somebody to give us advice as to whether this is compatible with the
Right.
village overlay
We
zone.
wrote that though, where we have the choice
And it
of whether
does,
we want to do that, right?
well, I think in my blurb,
Yep.
it says, I interpret regulation 5.12G as allowing the commission to opt out
Yep.
because the regulation says as needed.
Right.
The
That's how I-
underlying regulation is all full of shalls and shalls and shalls and doesn't have any as neededs. It also says at the end of the state regulation that if the report doesn't come in time, it doesn't matter. So there's an out. Whoops.
So it's up to the commission if they need to have another architect look at the design, or if the commission is, finds approval with what was presented on the site plan.
And I did talk to their attorney yesterday about the underlying regulation, and she was gonna look at it and address it.
Could the commission maybe make a motion or a comment that they're satisfied with the proposal
Well,
as
if
is?
we approve it, that means we're satisfied with it.
Well, as part of the motion,
I think
it was-
just to make it clear, so that
so they don't have to study the record.
20 years from now, they don't think you forgot about it.
I think just as an aside, in this little blurb, it says to address all parameters of the site plan regulations, and it goes on to cite 8.3, 5.1, 5.12, 7.6, 5.7, 6.1. We got, these regulations are all over the book. And you can start, reading about the landscaping in one section, and then you read about landscaping in another section, and it doesn't agree with the, it's one of these things where
One more thing to fix.
yeah, it's one of these things where we've updated the regulations and not fixed the old ones at the same time.
like every set of blueprints I've ever looked at.
Mhm.
I mean, it's a couple situations where it talks about A1 screening and A2 screening, and there's
We don't
no
define it.
definition of that anywhere. We have
Well-
type A, type B, type C, and type D.
Add that to your list of things we need to work on, Dave. 'cause-
And the grammar's pretty terrible in there too.
Oh, no. Kathy.
No way. Then I didn't see it.
Okay, right.
There's some extra ands and Rs.
Mhm.
Constantly work on them.
So this
We'll fix
is
them.
quite the work in progress. Once if we approve this, then it goes to the state and to the variance? You're saying,
CBA doesn't need to weigh in.
okay,
It's just site plan.
just,
They used to have to do the locations, but now.
correct, if there was a gas station, right? Okay.
Well, this is a fantastic beginning,
Mhm.
excellent beginning.
If the application's accepted tonight, there's 65 days to approve it, correct?
Right.
Unless it's automatic. Whistle, time to go.
Has anyone, like,
So do-
traffic, is this, like, how
So
much
did
will this
you
increase
also-
traffic? Not that I really care about, does that matter? Traffic? I mean,
There's a traffic study.
there is a traffic study?
They gonna be drive-by people
not really concerned, just asking the question about people coming up from that road down near the river or whatever, like, how much is that gonna increase that traffic, and will this intersection be adequate, or will we have to?
Well, they have, in the traffic reports, they have levels of service,
Yep,
A through F,
yep.
and F obviously is a failure.
Mhm.
And if you're gonna try to cross from the Dollar General store over to Cumberland Farms, that's gonna go from a C to an E.
Yeah.
And pulling out of Olympic Avenue is gonna go from a C to an E as well.
Another, while you're on that topic, another concern that popped in my head while you were saying that is pedestrians crossing West Street. Because there's houses on the south side of 190.
Right.
Not a lot, but there's a lot of people. There's actually multifamily housing right down there. So I would think there would be more pedestrians.
On the,
We can't do anything off-site, but at that intersection, which also involves the state, because it's on a state road, pedestrian crosswalk there, maybe a signal, I don't know, but that.
Crosswalk for
You know,
sure.
that, I don't know if
Great
maybe
idea.
their study addresses that, I don't know. If you could email PDFs of that would, I don't need hard copies, if you could, next week. If you
Yeah.
could.
But I think that's an excellent idea. I can picture a crosswalk there. Could
I don't know
be
about the
well
state
used.
road, but West Street.
On one West Street, on our road, yeah.
So just to,
Right, there's a lot of people.
They probably would give you one on 190.
that front again, so the state will determine whether it's a curb, a sidewalk, landscaping, whatever.
They're gonna have to
Well,
negotiate
well,
that
we
out.
we
determine
can, I don't have any problem saying it's gonna be a landscape,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. If that's the way the plan's gonna work out.
Unless the state says
Landscape.
differently, you need a turn lane or whatever, but
Mhm.
they're gonna landscape up to the edge of the pavement.
Yeah, I think we all agree with that, for sure. So when you talk to them, Dave.
Now, how are they getting their delivery trucks in?
But as we
Cumberland
said
Farms
though,
truck, I see
Gene,
it's
we
50 feet.
required a sidewalk in front
They
of
assume they're
Dollar
going
General,
there.
I
True.
think.
Oh, how they getting them?
True.
correct?
That's
Good
an awful,
question.
that's an awful small,
I mean, I think they're gonna try to do that, right?
So Dave, I wanna get
Or they're
back,
gonna do this?
Deliveries?
Well, they can explain that when they present their land.
I wanna get back to that front again. We required Dollar General and Family Dollar, all of them now to put sidewalks. I know they've done it on West Street. What is the thought of this commission on sidewalks in that front?
I think between the density of the residential area around there, 'cause most, I'd say probably 50% of it's multifamily, as well as the racetrack.
And there's a lot of
At a
walkers.
minimum, there should be sidewalks on this. I'd love to do
Oh, West
it
Street.
down the streets, but
Correct.
I think for their frontage on the streets, there should be sidewalks.
where does the sidewalk stop now, at the bridge?
I don't even know if there is.
There's no sidewalk, it
There's no
starts at the
sidewalk
bridge.
that corner.
To Rossi's has a
What-
sidewalk.
Well, the live-in condos has sidewalk.
Yeah, they have sidewalks and that's it, right?
And then
I don't know
doesn't
about
the
the
bridge have?
apartments
Oh, the
up
work.
there, no.
The work-live place has sidewalk.
Has
Yeah.
sidewalk.
It stops there at the bridge.
Stops at the
sidewalk.
bridge.
There's no sidewalk on the bridge.
Correct.
There is a
There's
sidewalk in front of Rossi's though,
Right.
Rossi's,
Yep.
but it's all pieces.
Well, it goes both ways. It
Eventually,
goes up
you would
center
just
and it
love
goes
to have
the
it all
railroad track.
Do it one at a time.
connect. So I know it sounds, everybody thinks it's foolish, okay, you've got a sidewalk here that goes to nowhere, but eventually it
You
will
look at-
go
Just look
somewhere.
at the pedestrian traffic for the existing Cumberland Farms right here.
Right,
And it's,
That's true.
and it's
Right.
even denser up there with residences.
and you're
so-
gonna have the outdoor patio, so
Well, doesn't that plan
I
show
would
them
like
on
to
West Street?
see a
Yeah.
a sidewalk in the front. No? Yes.
In here.
I
They'll
want,
connect to this.
Yeah. And if they're, you know, if they get, since they're not putting parking out there, they could probably keep it right in the state right away. And just hug
They
the
could
right
just,
away line.
they could just make a huge sidewalk in that area that they're not gonna landscape.
Not a huge one, no.
no, okay, now, let's think about this. It would have to be that large, Dave? Why did you say that?
No, I was being facetious.
You're being facetious, okay. Well, I
No,
would
just a
like to
standard
know,
walk, a 4-foot
I'm trying
walk
to
or a 5-foot
envision
walk
how
along-
it would
Along
look
the property line around the corner.
Yeah,
So
no,
couldn't
that's
you
great.
still have landscaping with the sidewalk?
Yeah,
The
sure.
sidewalk's not that wide, Dave.
Oh, right now it's a buffer, so yeah.
Right. So you
Road,
could-
sidewalk, and then lawn,
Road, sidewalk, and lawn, yeah.
slow shelf.
Well, there's quite the elevation between 190 and that 50 West Street, so.
Right.
Yeah, but it's lawn. On the backside, it's lawn. It's not an issue.
So the sidewalks here,
It's flat where the driveways are.
But now you're saying come all the way around that
and you could
island?
come all the way, well, all this is
Yeah,
like
from the
that dead
driveway,
space that they
from
have.
the driveway, on the
From the
east,
driveway
on the east
around.
side,
Yeah.
follow the state right-of-way line all the way around, cross the driveway, and then down south along West Street below the driveway.
But that's what I'm saying, the elevation difference. I mean, the body shop was in the back of that.
Well, they got a big slope here because they
You gonna
built
put steps
this.
in?
It's gonna be,
Wait a minute.
I don't believe the sidewalk has to be ADA compliant as far
But
as
I'm
the
saying, you
slope.
come off of 190 and then down to West Street, that's quite a dip there.
There's a retaining wall
I
there.
mean,
Well, they can grade it
Neil
out.
used to park his car
That's-
on the outside
that's
of the
lawn
back, it's
also.
right there. And it's-
But that's, you're
10-foot
talking, you're talking in this area.
This is
which
a
which is lawn
5
also.
This is a 5-foot slope from here to here.
All right, so, and then bring it all the way back to
So you
where,
put a cut in here. Put a cut in and slope up generally. You could do that.
Well, Cindy?
I think there should be a provision for pedestrians on West Street.
Oh, yeah.
On West
What do
Street.
you think? Should
No,
it be in
David,
the front?
The crosswalk is going
Family
directly
dollar?
across West Street at the corner. That's what I'm talking about.
this side of the island?
At
Or that
where the
side of
island is, you would probably, they're probably gonna keep some form of an island for a refuge spot for the,
Yeah.
so somebody walks across, they stop, and then they walk across the other way.
But this is going towards like
Towards,
Donald's
west on 190, because that's where there's apartments and condos.
Yeah, there's people walking right now.
And this there,
Well, it has to be, yeah.
more walking.
You'd have to have-
But it's,
Other side.
I don't care.
So are we just gonna have the sidewalk in the front, or is it going to go all the way around and connect
That's
to
what we're
West Street?
On the other side.
What do you think,
You
Dave?
gotta stop somewhere. you know.
No, really, because there is a 5 feet down.
Well, I mean, if you're worried about just
Eventually,
the frontage,
it's
you
gonna
just
be-
go across to the island
And we were
and
saying
keep
it's better
going.
on the south side. 'cause then
And
you
give
get
them
the
some
turn.
access this way.
Keep it all the way down.
I would encourage anyone to cross 190
That's the,
from the Dollar General.
actually, the discussion we had was they wouldn't cross.
I'm not sure who's been, you know, in that area at night, like where 7-Eleven is to Dollar General, but there's a significant amount of foot traffic that goes across. People cut through the woods right there from that little neighborhood, and anyhow, there's already foot traffic there at night.
This is just asking for trouble.
I think you need a sidewalk in the front. You don't agree, Ron? Asking for trouble.
Here?
I just.
Oh, Look
I
at the
wouldn't
plans,
encourage-
they have a plan with grading on it.
This has the gradings on here. So there's a 5-foot slope here. So if you
So-
wanted to wrap it around and cross down here,
But isn't wrapping it around there gonna cause problems in the wintertime with people falling on there? What's in the
well, if you
ice?
make a cut and you put a little retaining wall in there, you're ready to go.
Yeah, but it's gonna be, the sidewalk that goes around there and goes down that steep slope can be icy in the wintertime.
So where is the sidewalk now, but the driveway on West Street?
Yeah, just there and down.
There and down. Well, I don't see it necessary to go from that driveway all around that curve in the hill. I think would be just in the front would be necessary.
Maybe they could cut across
They could cut across the
the
parking
edge of
lot.
that the driveway?
behind it, by the
Right.
pumps there. where the
Right,
tanks
that's
are.
what I'm thinking.
Well,
They
let them-
probably would cut
that's-
across
yeah, let them
anyway and not
figure it
go
out.
all the way around.
Let them figure
I mean,
it out.
they've got this all pretty level down, from here down. It's pretty level.
Yeah, from the body shop down is low.
Right.
What I'm saying is,
So-
it starts to pick up where the showroom used to be.
Right
So
in here.
just
Yeah.
in the front, the sidewalk.
But they could regrade this completely, so they don't have this big 5-foot drop off. They could pull it way back,
Exactly.
Yeah, they really have to pull it back.
yeah.
But I think if we don't have a sidewalk in front, some people are going to be upset because we wanted sidewalks for
We have on the
everything
other
else.
side.
that's
Everything,
in
so
here.
eventually to
Well, that's,
connect.
it's based on each site's,
I mean, this
each
is,
site's
Yeah.
unique.
this is 536 in here, and this is 534 down here.
So they're already.
They've got this water coming down into this gully. So they could certainly rework that.
Well, just let them figure it out.
I like that
I
idea.
would like
I
to
do
see
too.
sidewalks around the whole corner.
Just say,
Talk to them.
we would like around the
Talk to
whole
them.
There's a
corner, if not
problem.
possible, at least along the front.
Sure.
Have them come to us with a plan first. and
They
then-
are on
and then
the
we-
9th.
And then we can.
They are, right, on the 9th.
Well, this is the payment.
I'm in agreement with the thoughts on the sidewalk that wraps around, that's fine. Just from my own personal experience, watching the foot traffic cross over, like between Dollar General and what's already there, I think it's inevitable that there will be increased foot traffic crossing 190. I just wanted to understand
That's gonna
what,
be part of the state is gonna be looking at their traffic report
Yeah.
and their site plan,
who pays for
as well as
that?
Dollar
No,
General.
if it needs it, that's what I'm concerned with.
The developer,
They will?
They will, yeah,
Okay,
it's their
good,
road.
as long as that's, yeah.
right, because Abishad just had to pay for all that work.
Okay, just making sure that, you know, like,
And then it has to be, the paper.
You're right, the state will dictate that, but I definitely think we need a sidewalk somewhere along there,
The whole way.
the whole way. So should that be put in the motion?
No,
No,
I think
no,
we
no,
don't.
we're just accepting
We're just
it.
discussing.
These are just thoughts, like
Yeah, we're
a,
just throwing it out.
like a
But
preliminary meeting.
we are getting back to them
Yeah, I'll get back to that.
for the
Yeah,
9th,
it's
right?
a concern, let them address it.
I like that.
It's
That's a
still
good
a
way to do it.
pre-discussion
Now,
type
the
thing.
crosswalk
It's like a
on West
pre-app.
Street. It's not proposed yet, right?
So this is just the pre, they'll be coming the 9th for
and they have come-
approval.
And,
Not
through the chair, Nancy,
But that would be below the island, no?
they,
It's up to the state.
they've come 99% of what we want.
Absolutely.
I mean, so we really don't have issues that are a few small things that Dave can talk to them about, but
Through it.
this is fantastic.
It is fantastic, right. And I don't think that a sidewalk there would be an issue with the developer, I really don't.
No, either.
I love the fact that they've gone through our, excuse me, that they've gone through our regs and really read them.
Oh, I know, I
And-
was reading the regs and they
and
followed
followed
them. You're right.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, I'll accept the screening in the back, which
Minor thing,
definitely,
yeah.
that's a very minor thing in a sidewalk. Otherwise, it's beautiful, so,
Just to clarify, they're demolishing what's on the site now, right? We're not reusing, okay.
no, yeah,
I'm just asking.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because it's all moving way back too.
Okay, so I guess we have everything that you need to get back to the developer. And Dave has plans for all of us to bring home just to look at.
I think I have 5 sets.
5, yeah, I couldn't print it.
They're gonna be changing.
They're gonna change a lot.
So I guess we're going to have, the agenda says to accept the site plan for 116 West
I
Main
would-
Street.
I would make a motion, we accept the site plan for 116 West Main Street for Cumberland Farms.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion?
Well, yeah,
Go ahead.
we're gonna approve that the way it's drawn right now?
No, no, no.
No.
They're just accepting it.
Accepting,
That they're coming.
accepting
Yeah,
it,
they're
we're not
coming.
approving
Right,
it.
but
Okay,
that
no,
does,
that's
that
true.
does start the clock that you have 65 days.
That's
We
the
should
key
be
to
able to
approve.
hammer it out in 65 days.
Oh, yeah, I think
That's
it's
at
our
least
next
2
meeting
weeks.
tonight, right. So, we have a motion, we have a second, any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No opposed, it's unanimous that we accept the site plan for 116 West Main Street. Now, we have some other new and other business, and at our meeting, our combined meeting, Amber Wakely was discussing the clock that they are going to put up for the 300th anniversary. And we had indicated to Amber that they did not need to come before the planning and zoning to erect this. And I just wanted to double check, is that correct?
Technically, you need an 8-24 referral, but
Even if it's all private money
Yeah,
It's
on
all
town.
donations,
It's on
right.
town.
on town property,
It's
ah,
on
that's
town
the trick,
property.
okay.
That's why I wanted to double check
You
after
could
I
do
read
it- you could do a referral just
8-24.
to err on the side of caution.
I
So
mean, it
if,
takes, 2 minutes to do it.
so if you won't mind, I'll let you have that, because either way,
Where
it's
is
really.
it going?
It's going on the, across from Middle Ground on the,
It's a little
Oh,
dark.
okay.
no, it's
No?
gonna be permanent.
Well, what happens when we put a parking garage there?
Well, in fact, they want your $300 and then you can put your name on the bottom of the lot. It's all donations. Give that to Dave.
Ron,
That's nice.
Mr. Hool, you're never gonna put a parking garage there. We're not gonna let you do
Is
it.
that what
Unless
you
you
want?
wait for us old people to all die, then you can put one in.
Okay. Now, the next thing on the other business, Kathy Bakayaki, unfortunately, due to many other roles and hats she wears, could not continue with our subcommittee for the business park. And Ron has graciously accepted to fill that position. So we do have Ron, and we have Dave, and we have Butch that will be working on the business park, et cetera. And I understand a floating zone.
I missed a meeting, got nominated, that's what happened.
I knew he couldn't do it graciously.
Another thing on the agenda, our next combined meeting, we are going to be meeting after our P&Z meeting. And that's going to be the last meeting in October. And they decided that they're going to do that, and the next time the combined will be meeting after an EDC meeting. So, and then a board of selectmen, so we'll go back and forth, because sometimes,
That was just an off night.
oh, that was crazy that
What's
night.
the date of that?
What's the date though? Our second,
Fourth Tuesday.
29th? No, that's Board of Ed.
30th.
Planning, 23rd?
Is that the 4th? Yeah, 23rd, October 23rd.
Yeah.
So that will be the combined, so we will have hopefully everyone here that goes to the Board of Selectmen one too. Now, the next thing, citation fees. I saw something on citation fees.
We talked a
New
while,
ordinance, right?
right, we talked about this 2-3 months ago.
Correct, so.
Did it go through the town meeting and everything?
It's
That's
going to the town meeting on Thursday.
Oh, it hasn't
Okay.
happened yet.
This
okay.
was
Correct.
this.
No, that's done,
That's done.
right,
So are the fees in our updated?
yes.
They've been updated, good. Okay, so this is done.
The citation is a zoning
Right.
enforcement tool.
Correct, and that's going to be what, Thursday? Town
Correct.
meeting? Also, the sale of the properties we
Correct.
approved? Thursday.
Just to let you know, right now, in my position right now, I have the ability to issue citations up to $150 for each violation, and it's a very strong tool.
Well, we have not had that tool, correct, Dave?
No, it's a fabulous tool, you start, I mean.
And it's
once
at
it-
it's
You get a
pretty much
couple
at the
hours.
discretion of the ZEO,
Correct,
but it's a very strong tool.
okay.
And it
So,
works, I mean, it's worked for the blight, you know, people get a letter saying, I've been fined $500. Then they get one the next week that says, now it's $1,200. Then they get one the next week, and now it's $1,800, they start,
I just got $1,600 for somebody to mow their lawn.
wow, I'm glad I don't live where you are.
I got 300.
That's Avon though, right? No, Rocky Hill. One other question, Dave, this, the changes and modifications to an approved site plan or special use permit. We had worked all through that, but we were holding it for a public hearing. So once the town meeting, if it gets approved to have a citation in the fees, shall we then combine that with this and get this on the books? We need
Well,
a
that's gonna
public
be an
hearing.
ordinance, so
All right, so.
it goes in the ordinance book.
So we'll hold this for a public hearing, we don't have to do a public hearing on Cumberland.
Right.
So we have nothing else coming up.
Right, I would just like to, in my spare time, once the snow starts flying, to do those industrial commercial development and try to squeeze those together and get out what shouldn't be there.
So we can just hold
Then we
on
can
to the
combine those.
modifications, okay. What brought that to mind, I understand that Isabella Courts is gonna go back to the variance board October 4th.
Correct.
But they would not have to come back to us if they get an approval? I think that's still up in the air, correct, Dave?
You know, it's a little, that whole process was a little weird because 90 Furnace Avenue is part of the Glendale Development Corporation ownership of that whole parcel, but they were never put into the condominium association.
No, they don't pay fees and they don't use the clubhouse.
So how could they do that? I mean, you created, it had number 96 right on it. I mean,
But it wasn't an
technically-
excluded area either on the condominium, on a declaration now.
On the map, right,
No,
but it,
it wasn't excluded on that map.
correct.
Like
but it was never-
phase 3 or whatever up top that isn't built yet, that's excluded right now.
Correct. But
So,
it was never put into the declaration of the condominium, so it's sort of an apple in a field of oranges.
so if they do get the approval to carve that one piece out, we probably do not have to relook at.
I don't think it's really necessary, you know?
I don't either, but I wanted to make sure we followed the law.
Is it worth getting an outside opinion on something like that if you're not sure, Dave?
That costs money.
True.
I don't think they're gonna sue us for
worth it.
That's
in
not worth it.
action.
That's not a,
That costs money, but I appreciate the suggestion. If this was a huge
But I don't think-
complex, but it's,
we don't have any neighbors.
It's that
opposing
one
this.
It's one
lot.
lot with an existing
It's the-
house on it.
it's
That's-
one lot, an existing house, and the condominium owners that were at the last one were all for it.
That's true.
They were just,
And I had a long meeting with them today, they have tons of concerns, but none of them are planning and zoning concerns.
mhm.
But it is, I mean, the assessor taxes the house as a house, but they don't tax the property under the house because it's part of Glenville development. It may not be in the condominium, but it's on the map.
Mm.
So they're paying the fees for the land under that house, the taxes.
How
And if
can they
the
fix
house doesn't-
that?
This will fix
Yeah,
that.
this
That will fix it, so they must be happy about that.
Yeah, I think they're happy about it, but they're concerned that,
They want their money back.
yeah, they sort of want their money
It's
back. They're
association
concerned
issues.
about their mortgages and that the underlying survey that their mortgages are supported on will be wrong. I mean, they just
That's
have.
between the association, nothing to do with us.
Wait, it's
I
not
told
the,
Right.
but
But that
see,
doesn't mean that if we okay it, they just go ahead and file it and sell it and let's go to Florida.
Now, will they have to pay taxes on the ground that the house is on?
Once it gets cut off, they
Okay, so
will
their
still-
taxes are gonna go up.
Correct.
Yeah, it'll be just like a regular house.
regular
Yeah.
residential, double A, I think, yeah. Mm. All right, well, thank you, that settles that. One more update, the lawsuit filed by Andrew Eldridge regarding the farm stand. Any progress there? Have you been called to testify or
The
anyone?
hearing date is the 10th or 12th of October at 10 o'clock. It's the Friday of that week. I think it's the 12th
In Rockville?
in Rockville.
Will you be going?
I think I'm gonna go,
I
yeah.
think you better go. Okay, very good.
And the other case against the ZBA is we have to file an appearance next week, and we'll see what
Oh,
happens.
that's right, there was another lawsuit against the ZBA, yeah. Well, at least we won one so far, the freedom of information. We were right. All right, that's all the updates, since we haven't been meeting, I've been going through everything, saying, I can't remember what's happening and updating, so,
And thank you for that, Madam Chairman. I think it's great.
oh, no problem.
Not letting things slip through.
Well,
This
it's
is that
easy to do.
image of O'Reilly's where I had to move the white pines in front of the electric meters. See the electric meters?
When I saw this, I had a fit, I know. But no, that's true, that's great. And how do you like the artificial windows on Avashon?
I haven't seen them
They
yet.
look good, I drove by them on
Don't
my way
they
here,
though?
look good.
And they're
look like-
mirrors,
Yeah.
but because
Other
they
than I
need the
saw
storage on the
lamppost and
inside.
reflection, but I thought it was a column inside.
Oh, all right. So, very good. So is there any other business?
I would just thank Dave for taking on
Excellent.
that landscaping issue up there and
Definitely.
staying on top of it. Thank you for that.
Thank
And
you.
they were very good about
Good.
moving things twice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they made some dramatic changes from the original site plan, so it's nice that they were willing to work with you for additional screening that kind of was there and then got cut down, so.
Nothing really took root anyway, so it wasn't that difficult.
Is there any
Oh, no, I
recourse?
mean, it was 4 days, yeah.
Is there
5
any
days. And
recourse?
they had to come back and do stuff anyway, so it
Yeah.
wasn't really,
Is there any recourse with Dollar General for that landscape debacle?
I think there's a landscape bond. I'm not sure, but there may be a landscape bond. I don't
A
know.
landscape what, Dave?
Bond.
there's one for CVS still.
Well, yeah, so there may be one for both the, it may only be like 1,000 or 1,500.
That's all we needed, we could put like 3 or 4 trees in there.
At
That
least
was
make
a
it look
mistake.
like, it looks horrible.
Yeah, I know, if it was done, it was set up with Lisa. I don't know if Erin has access, if, she might need to contact Lisa to help.
Lisa's
Erin
here.
find- Oh.
Would you mind doing that?
No, not at all.
That would be great
I thought I had a
because
pretty good list and I don't remember seeing
There,
it.
I don't remember, I thought there were.
Dollar General's pretty good about asking for their money back quickly.
yeah, very quickly and for their building to be falling apart on the sides and it's, but anyway, if we could get it to look halfway decent, that would be good. Because Cumberland's is gonna be right across the street. And 7-Eleven is trying to
They're gonna clean up also.
clean up. So, I mean, they're all cleaning up and you've got the church, that's nice.
And we've got a site plan to clean up McDonald's,
Yes, I saw that. Mhm.
so. that's
When will
gonna
that be closing, do you know?
modernized? I have no idea. I know they're looking for approval, but they owed back taxes, and then now they owe sewer fees, and
Oh,
so they don't get a building permit, so they,
that's, I don't think people should get zoning permits either if they owe back
You don't get any
taxes, but
permits.
we do.
but
You don't get any permits.
it's only building permits. It's by statute, it's only building permits.
Right, it's not us.
And it's in the ordinance too.
What?
Because some developers own tons and come in and still want approval to keep building.
We don't have
Until they have to pound a nail.
We don't have to do anything, that one issue.
So, hearing no other business, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Talkative one.
Tilly, thank you for coming. Was it interesting?
Chatty Cathy.
Yeah. Boring? Was it boring?